friends, welcome to the Cozy Cottage Crochet podcast channel. We have some yarn enabling to do. My name is Hannah. If you're new here, you can call me Hannah. We're friends now. It is Tuesday night for me, June 3rd at 7:30 p.m. The babies are finally asleep. We have a tenuous lighting setup. I am hiding in the corner of my husband's office. We have tenuous emotional stability because today has been very long. But I have two exciting things to share with you, and it is time sensitive, which is why I'm hiding in a corner of my husband's office in what is basically the middle of the night. Like, I'm gonna have to go to bed in like an hour. One of these launched 2 days ago, and one of these launched 1 day ago. So I'm actually even late telling you this, but I have to tell you now because some of you did miss out last year, and I am sad for you. So what am I talking about? Number one, the Twice Sheared Sheep Advent Calendar. Number two, Ula+Lia Kickstarter. If you don't know what those are, don't worry, I will show you. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is the Twice Sheared Sheep Advent Calendar. This is something that I have purchased for 2 years in a row with my own dollars. I think it's fabulous. It comes in this red box. I have two of these red boxes now. It comes in a box like this, and you get 25 presents. So it's not a yarn advent calendar, although there was at least 50 grams of yarn in each of the ones that I purchased. It's just presents, and you can get a crochet version or a knit version. And I just want to show you some of the stuff. Now, this is not necessarily from last year. It could be from the year before, but like, look at this little tin. This is my favorite, and what is living in here is actually something from last year. So last year I got the knitting box. So there's these little mushroom point protectors. I'm not showing those to you well at all. That's what it looks like. And there's also these little scrap yarn dogs. So I'm holding the wrong way. So like, if you have a long tail, let's say you start a hat and your tail is like way too long, but you need it for seaming or something like that. If you're seaming a garment, if you're seaming up a hat later, if you're seaming any kind of seaming, you can actually use this little dog, and it came with instructions of how to wrap it so that you could wrap it and then put this little doggy, basically just hang it off your project, and it keeps your tail from going everywhere. So adorable. Last year also, is this last year? 2 years ago, there was an exclusive sock ruler. This might have been 2 years ago. I love this one. I love it so much I haven't even used it, which is insane. That's an insane proposition. That's like saying, oh, the yarn's too pretty, I can't use it. But I love this one because I love the color, and it was limited edition. It's got these penguins. Oh my gosh. The sock ruler, if you have been around on this channel, is my #1 knitting notion of all time. Like, I use this every single time I knit socks, not the specific one because it's too special. So dumb. But I have one in each of my sock bags, and you basically just stick it in. It works for heel, like cuff down or toe up construction, and it will tell you US sizes, how long to knit to for kids, women's, and men's shoes. And it's a slap bracelet. Another thing from last year, look at this penguin. Look at the penguin, it's so cute. I have a bunch of stitch markers that are living in here. But I'm almost positive that this little cat came in last year's advent calendar. So you can get a variety of things. You can get tins, you can get notions, buttons, that came from 1 year. What else? There's so much other stuff in this box that I'm just using for storage. This I have actually used to make a pom-pom, but I kept it in its little package because I wanted to keep it. It's a pom-pom llama. A llama? Are you kidding me? We have this is something that they released last year, which is really, really awesome if you are a knitter. Or even if you're a crocheter, I think you could probably make this work with a stitch marker. It is a work until measuring tape. So what that means is, let's say I cast on a hat and I need to work 9 inches before I start the decreases. You literally just attach this to your project, and you set this wherever you want, 9 inches, okay? And then it's attached to your project. You have a measuring tape the entire time, and you just work until your hat reaches this marker, and then you start your decreases. So it goes all the way up to 13 inches, and it has centimeters on the other side. I think this thing is ingenious. It's actually one of their best sellers. I would be surprised, I think, if they were not going to have one of these in next year's box. But I know that there's 25 items total, and 14 of those items you will never have seen before. So some of the things, this came from last year. It is a build your own sock blocker kit. So this is a sock blocker that you can actually make into different size feet, which is pretty amazing if you ask me, because it's basically puzzle pieces put together. Also, it's sparkly blue. How delightful is that? So you could block men's socks, women's socks, all kinds of socks, because you're basically building a, what am I trying to say? You're puzzling it together. So you could make it as big or as small as you need it to. This I think is just really cute. I don't remember what they called this, but it's basically a yarn cutter, and it's a flower. It has a blade going all the way around, but you can't really cut yourself on it. Like maybe if you tried really hard to wedge your finger in there, but the flower keeps you from getting to the blade. But you could literally just go over and I have actually used this for sewing. I haven't done a lot of sewing recently, but the last time I pulled my sewing machine out was to mend like 6 things. And I just had this next to my sewing machine because I hate snipping, and the cutter on my actual sewing machine that came with it is so dull, it's terrible. So I would literally just use this instead, and it was fabulous. What else? What else have they had in there? Oh, the Yarn to Go carousel. I know people have mixed feelings about these. I think they're fabulous. A Yarn to Go carousel looks like this. So this is part of it, and it comes with a strap. Okay, so you put your skein of yarn on here, you attach this strap, and then you can hang it on your wrist, and your yarn just spins and spins, and it never gets tangled because it has one of these little spinny things, and you can just carry it around and work directly off the cake. I don't use that this way. I actually take this off. It came with a base. So you basically attach it to the base with the magnets, and then it just spins as well. So I have to put it on something solid or it's not gonna work. There, literally, I can just sit it next to me and work directly off the thing. And that is what I do most often. I have one, this is an extra one that I'm gonna be using for a prize later this year. But I have one of these that lives in my whip box, and there are a couple of whips that I always have this because it never tangles. I never have to have the cake or skein of yarn just running away from me, which is so annoying. It has these little grippies on the bottom so that this thing does not go flying. I think this thing is fabulous. I know some people have mixed feelings on whether they like working from the cake of yarn that it's on this while it's hanging off of their wrist. I can't really speak to that because that's not how I use it. I just use it like next to the couch, but it folds flat, so you don't ever have to keep it open. This was from 2 years ago, the Yarn to Go carousel. Last year they also had an I-cord maker. So cool. I don't have that to show you because it's in some project bag with some yarn that I had wound up at one point that I was going to do something with. Did I do anything with it? Of course not. This came from last year. This is the quick gauge ruler. So you can literally just put it on any part of your project and count your stitches in 1 inch. I find that so helpful, so helpful. Oh my gosh, I do have the I-cord maker here, right here, but I don't have the instructions. Those are somewhere else. Looks like this. It's like 3 latch hooks on a wooden peg. So yeah, I really, really love the Twice Shared Cheap Advent Calendar. Like I said, there's no pressure, there's no make along, there's no, it's literally just gifts. And so if you are looking for something that's different than a yarn advent calendar, this, super fun to open. Last year's box also had a mug. It was like an insulated steel mug container. It didn't have a handle, but it was like, you know, one of those insulated drink cups that was like this big and kind of round at the bottom. It has a sloth on it. I was literally just drinking tea out of that the other day, and it is in the kitchen. It lives in the kitchen because I use it all the time. I am really excited for like this year's box. It's gonna be, I can't remember what the theme is, but it was so awesome. I'm gonna put a link directly down below. If you get it now or quickly, I don't know when the code runs out, but basically because the boxes were just released, you can use a code, a coupon code that I will put directly in the drop down below, and I will put it on the screen as well, and that will give you $25 off. You can only use the code if you purchase it soon, which is why I'm telling you, because it's time sensitive. And when they run out, they run out. Like last year they had so many boxes, they ran out within like a month, I think, and then you couldn't get one after that. Full disclosure, I am an affiliate for Twice Shared Sheep. I am only an affiliate for 2 companies total, and it is Twice Shared Sheep and Premier Yarns. And I love Twice Shared Sheep. I love everything they do. I love everything they make. I spend plenty of my own money there. I have purchased things from them personally. I have purchased the advent calendar. I have purchased things to give away as prizes, and I've just purchased things for gifts. So I really love what they do. I think last year there was a project bag, a cup, and some yarn and some other stuff as well. But mostly, it's all gifts, but mostly it's just really fun things. So if you purchase using my link below, I will get a commission on that in like several months. So full disclosure, I'm not completely biased, but of course I'm not. You wouldn't want me to be, right? I support them. I support them with my own dollars, and I love what they stand for. The other thing I want to tell you about is the Ula+Lia Kickstarter just launched on June 1st. If you don't know what I'm talking about, this is one of the coolest yarn things I have ever witnessed or been a part of. And since I found out about it, I want to say 5 years ago, I have purchased from them every single year without fail. Maybe this will be the 5th year. Maybe last year was year 4. What I am wearing is a cardigan made out of their yarn. This is 100% yak yarn from Mongolia, and I held it with a strand of Pearl Soho mohair silk yarn. And this is a cardigan pattern from Knitting for Olive. I don't remember the name of the cardigan pattern, but they don't have very many cardigan patterns that look like this. This is maybe it's the Darjeeling cardigan, possibly. I love this. I knit this. I love the color. It's a little pilly because I wear it constantly, but that's from the mohair, not from the yak. So what Ula+Lia is, they have a Kickstarter every year, June 1st. You basically pledge to support their Kickstarter campaign. And then after the Kickstarter ends, you can then add on other yarns if you want at Kickstarter prices. And then production begins in Mongolia. And you will get the yarn anywhere from December to February, like 6 to 8 months later. Because what you get, what you're purchasing has not been made yet. The Kickstarter is so that they can purchase a large amount of fiber and then process it. And they purchase and process cashmere, yak, baby camel, and obviously sheep wool as well. They do have spinning fiber. They have some like pre-made socks and hats and things like that. But the bulk of what they do is create yarn. And like I bought, I want to say 6 or I think maybe 6 skeins of this yak. I don't remember what the colorway is, but I knit this cardigan out of it, and this is one of my favorite cardigans to wear. When we talk about like how yarn should be more sustainable, this is like, I don't know how you could get more traceability. Like the guy who runs this can trace the skeins of yarn and will tell you where you can trace them as well, down to the village, down to the herd of where this fiber came from, whether it be cashmere, yak, baby camel, or sheep wool. And it's just so cool to be part of the Kickstarter. I have, like I said, been part of it for I think 4 years in a row now, and this is year number 5. I already made my pledge for this year. It's something I save for all year long because I know it's coming and I know I want to be a part of it. He gives you updates. So like every month, sometimes more frequently than that, depending on what is going on in the spinning, the washing, the combing. So they purchase all the fiber from all these little local cooperatives in Mongolia. And he's there in Mongolia. He lives there. I think he's American, but he lives in Mongolia. And he's been doing this for 10 years now. and you get updates all along. So we'll be like, okay, today we got in our shipment of cashmere. He'll send photos and videos of like the wool getting combed, the yak fiber getting washed and carded and spun, and then the dyeing process and all of that. It's just so cool. Like you get updates the entire time, at least one a month, sometimes more. And then of course he updates with anything that's happening with the production as well. So I think that I have purchased every single kind of fiber they offer. The first year I bought wool, I think. The second year I bought yak. No, I think I bought this 2 years ago. The second year I think I bought cashmere. The third year I bought yak. And the fourth year, which is last year, I bought baby camel. I have not used the baby camel yet because it came in January, so about 5 months ago, and I promptly had elbow surgery. No, I'm getting confused. I will tell you, I have one bag. Most of my stash is like insane. I have one bag that was accessible that I wanted to show you. This I purchased with a specific cardigan pattern in mind. Can I remember what the cardigan pattern is now? No. But it will be a cardigan. I know I have it marked in Ravelry what this is going to become. This is Ula+Lia, 85% sheep wool, 15% cashmere. That color is like coming across perfectly. It is the colorway at GNC. It is so great. And it's not merino, it's wool, but it is super duper soft. I'm gonna take one of these labels off because I want to read you the inside. So there's all kinds of information on here, but basically it says, our blended yarn comes from cooperatives that work directly with traditional nomadic herders in Mongolia. The unique, bitterly cold Mongolian winter forced livestock to produce incredibly fine fiber to sustain them through the cold. When these animals start to shed in the spring, herders harvest their down coats to start the process and deliver some of the most sought after fibers on earth. All of our products are sourced and produced 100% in Mongolia through a network of herder cooperatives and local manufacturing partners. So, whoa. It wouldn't be me talking to you if I didn't drop something on the floor. I have been impressed with the quality. I have been impressed with the colors. I have been impressed with the entire process every single time I've ordered from them. And honestly, if you are a person who is like, I can never ever afford cashmere because cashmere is ridiculously, ridiculously expensive. When I was at Rhinebeck several years ago, I found a cashmere booth, and I kid you not, for 50 grams of cashmere, it was almost $100 for a skein. And I'm like, who has that kind of money? Their cashmere, it Kickstarter prices for 100 grams of cashmere. I want to say it's like $34, $35. It is the cheapest price I've ever seen for cashmere. And not only is it cashmere, it is sustainably sourced, and the animals are treated really well. They're all, obviously the sheep are sheared, but like the rest of them are brushed. Okay, their coats are not being cut off of them. And you can trace this cashmere down to the literal animals that they got it from, which blows my mind. I love it. I'm so happy every time. I am happy to follow along. I am happy to give them my money. I wish I had tons of money to give them, but I save every year to make like a purchase of one, essentially a sweater's quantity. Like I said, I made this, and it's one of my most worn things. Another project that I made with Ula+Lia yarn, I didn't actually purchase that skein. It was a gift from my friend Lisa. It was one skein of fingering weight cashmere. It was a similar color to this, but it was a brighter red. It was like a really bright maroon. I made a sockhead hat with that. I've made many iterations of sockhead hats throughout the years. I just love that pattern. But I wore that nonstop last year. Nonstop. Any day it was cold, I wore that hat. I'm sure I'm wearing it like 100 times during Vlogmas. I lost it. I don't know where I lost it. I don't know how I lost it. It must have fallen out of my coat pocket. I know I had it when we went to New York last year, and I did not have it after, like, in January it was gone. And I have turned this house upside down. I have looked in every nook and cranny. It's not been stashed somewhere by my child. Like, we have spring cleaned, we have done, like, it's gone. Like, I actually must have lost it somewhere, which breaks my heart because those are my most favorite hats. So I think that they still have that color because that was an older yarn. That was one of the previous year's yarns. I know I still have the leftovers, but I think I used more than 50 grams to make that hat. So I need to look and see if I can purchase one skein, one color of that cashmere yarn and make myself an identical hat because it was so wearable. Like, it looked good with my face and my hair and my skin color. It went with everything and now it's gone. Like, I have a hot pink sockhead hat. I love to wear that hot pink hat, but it doesn't go with everything. Like, I couldn't wear hot pink with this. That would look ridiculous. So yeah, I have made projects with this yarn. I love this yarn. The Kickstarter is only until June 30th. It is 1 month long, so you are on a clock if you want to do it. I will say they don't charge you until July, so you can pledge a certain amount, and then you don't actually pay for it until July when the Kickstarter closes. He's already met his goal. I think the goal is like $25,000 or something, and like $75,000 has been pledged at this point. And every year it seems like it gets more and more and more because it's such a good quality product. It's so good. So if you want the Kickstarter prices, I want to say it's like 30% off of what he sells normally. Now is the time. I do not get any kickbacks from this. I am just a huge fan, and I will keep being a huge fan as long as he does this. Like, I hope for the next 20 years he does it, but at some point, you know, people stop doing things usually. I hope to have many, many sweaters and cardigans made out of yarn from Mongolia that you can trace to like a literal cashmere goat. I don't know. So I will put links directly down below. Just hit the little doobly-doo description box. Okay, there'll be a link to Twice Shared Cheap and the advent calendar. There will be the code listed so you can get $25 off if you want to purchase that. And there will be a link directly to Ula+Lia Kickstarter. Highly recommend checking these out. I am not trying to make you spend money that you don't have. Like I said, especially the Ula+Lia. This is something I start saving for all year long. Like, I just put a little money aside, a little money aside, a little money aside. And some years I have only purchased a few things. I think the smallest amount you can purchase is 200 grams of sheep wool. And at least in the Kickstarter, that I want to say is like 30 bucks. Or maybe it's like 34 bucks. I think it's like 16 something a skein. Crazy. So you can spend a tiny amount of money. You can obviously spend a huge amount of money if you want. It's so worth it, you guys. So worth it. So I have to go now. I guess I'll give you a little life update since I'm sitting here, but not too long because I'm tired. But now I have ice cream in my veins. It was just a very long day. I was supposed to get blood work yesterday, and I accidentally ate something when I was cooking my children breakfast. So dumb. I like took a bite out of a peach and swallowed it, and then I was like, man. So I had to reschedule it to this morning. So we did that. That always takes forever. It was just lovely to hold a squirming 21-month-old baby while getting stabbed in the arm with a needle and like 5 vials of blood taken. Then Noah had a doctor appointment. Then I had a meeting, and they were just a bit of a disaster the whole time. Like, all morning, both kids were a bit of a disaster. And Noah was supposed to go to sleep in the car on the way home because it was like 12:30, 12:45 already. And instead he cried all the way home. So we were supposed to have swim lessons tonight. They got rained out. So I was like, good, he can go to bed early because he only slept for like an hour when we got home. But no, it took me over an hour and 15 minutes to get him to go to sleep. He was hyped beyond all reason. So what I was saying is, your girl is tired. But I need some yarn time. Actually, just being in here and like is making me feel better. Always breathe the yarn fumes, people. I'm gonna go now. I'm gonna upload this really fast. Fingers crossed it's really fast so you can see it. And I am going to go either lay on the couch like a lump and not move at all, or I am going to sit on the couch with some popcorn and crochet. So I will see you hopefully this Saturday for a podcast episode. Let me know if you are excited about this, and if you have purchased either of these in the past and you like them, please comment below and let me know. Bye friends, big hugs.